Welcome everybody to this new CoolTalk by ClearPeaks. The subject of this CoolTalk is web applications using unstructured data. Every company has data, but really what can set you apart is what insight you can make out of it. With us, there is me, Gianluca Nacci. I am the partner and general manager for the Middle Eastern branch of ClearPeaks, and Renzo Verasteghi, senior data scientist of the ClearPeaks Advanced Analytics team, that are going to take you through the subjects of this CoolTalk. For this particular CoolTalk, we have made the most of our partnership with one of the leading industry's technologies in data science and data transformation, KNIME. We are an established trusted partner with them, and we have more than 42 certifications and counting. Our strong relationship with the team has manifested in the Innovation Partner of the Year award from 2022 that we have won on the back of our successful implementations throughout the year. If you want to hear more, please get in touch with us. Now I am going to pass the baton to my colleague Renzo.
Hi, Gianluca. Thank you so much for the introduction. So what is unstructured data? In this modern world of big data, unstructured data is the most abundant. And unstructured simply means that these data sets are not stored in an structured database format. This umbrella has a really wide reach and includes countless of data types in addition to the following. We can have media as videos, audios, images, some graphics, some geopositional data, as well as some web data. We can have information from web pages and as well from social media interactions. We can have IoT data from sensors, from production line monitors, and as well from document files. For example, Word, PowerPoint, and as well from log files and emails. And it's important to know that business data come in this wide range of formats, and it can be divided mainly into categories, which are structured and unstructured data. Structured data is fairly straightforward to deal with, whereas unstructured data is more complex, as I mentioned before, and it's harder to organize and also to extract. Unstructured data is typically categorized as qualitative data. This means that this data cannot be processed or analyzed via conventional data tools or methods. And since unstructured data does not have a predefined data model, the best way to manage this type of data is using non-relational databases. And also another way to using this type of data is using data lakes in order to preserve it in a raw form. And finally, due to this undefined or non-format nature, let's say, data science expertise is required to prepare and analyze this data using different techniques as NLP or computer vision algorithms. But why this usage of unstructured data is important for enterprises? Digital applications are expected to break through from previous boundaries in the next 5 to 10 years. With the boom of internet traffic and also the migration from 4G to 5G, data volumes to be stored will increase from 32 zettabytes in 2018 to 180 zettabytes expected in 2025. And from this huge amount of data, at least 80% is going to be unstructured data. So it's really important for companies to be prepared about this, let's say, new world of unstructured data and start taking actions for this. But how can unstructured data and how you can start taking actions? You can combine ML techniques and algorithms to bring value to the companies. And let's see some real world use cases. From a marketing perspective, we can analyze social media comments to improve marketing effectiveness, also to detect pain points in the brand, and as well to improve customer segmentation. From an insurance point of view, we can improve the fraud detection capabilities of the company using text analytics, computer vision techniques, and also web scrape data, but combining this with traditional analytics. And this is really important because the fraud field is always evolving and you always need to try to be one step ahead. In this part, I want to show the capabilities of KNIME using unstructured data. This first demo is called Movie Reviews and use sentiment analysis on web script data. Sentiment analysis is often performed textual data to help businesses to monitor the brand and also to do some product sentiment for customer feedback and also to understand the customer need. So imagine that you're a content manager and you want to know the opinion of the movies that are in the market. And of course, this person cannot go to IMDb and check the reviews one by one because it would be crazy. This is the front end that we have created using KNIME. And we were able to extract information from 350 movies. We were able to obtain the reviews, also some images, and to perform sentiment analysis on these given reviews. We can see that 59% of the total reviews were assigned as positive. And for example, for this movie, The Lord of the Rings, which is really good, 96% of the reviews that were analyzed were classified as positive. But how this interactive view was created on KNIME? Let's see that now. So for this backend, we have two parts. The first one is the training of a model that is going to be able to assign if a given review is positive or negative. And the second part is the web scraping tool that is going to help us to obtain the reviews that we want from IMDb. For the first part, we're facing a supervised problem. So this means that we already have a set of reviews that were already categorized into positive or negative. And once we have this, the first part is to analyze the text from the reviews. So in here, we're applying the classic techniques. So we are going to remove filling spaces, punctuation, put everything in lowercase, apply steaming, and so on. And this is a process that is going to be performed in every review. Once we have this, the second part consists on the creation of a matrix, which will have zeros or one, depending if the terms appear on the review or not. As we can see in here, for example, we can see that in this review, the complete waste of time appears, so probably it was a negative review. Once we have this input ready, we are going to the modeling part. In this modeling part, we're using a random forest, and also it's important to keep the input structure that we are using because that's going to be needed if we want to use the model with new and unseen data. But what do I mean with new and unseen data? If we go here, we can see that we're getting information from this IMDb URL. So here we have a list of 250 movies. And if we go to the Dark Knight, and we go to the bottom part, we will have the user reviews as long as the image. And this is the information that we want to obtain and that we were showing in the interactive view that we built on KNIME. If we go back to KNIME, we will see that we have a scripting tool. And as I mentioned before, we will have two processes which are going to be parallel. The first one is going to be scraping data and processing for a list, and the second one as well. And all the process is similar. So let me show you this one. So for this, we have the film crawling part. So as I showed you before, we will have the list, and from that list of movies, we're going to obtain the title and as well the URL associated to that movie. As we can see here, for Gladiator, we have already the URL to obtain the reviews and also a movie ID that we generated. Once we have this movie, as you know, we want to obtain all the reviews and images associated to this. So if we go here, we can see that we were able to obtain these reviews for this movie and as well the information from the image. Now, as you might have realized, we now are facing the, let's say, the same problem that we were having before. We already have text data. So the next step is to pre-process this data and convert it into a matrix that we can use as an input in our model. And yeah, so these reviews after the pre-processing, they will have the same structure that we were having before. So here we can see if these terms appear or not in the given reviews. So this input is going to be used by our predictor, and this is what we're going to obtain. So for example, we can see here that this movie had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative reviews, and that's the information that you were seeing in the interactive view with the statistics of the percentage of positive reviews. And this tool, it's really interesting from a content manager point of view because you cannot not only analyze movies, you can also analyze some products that your company has and to know how these products, if these products are engaging the people or not. And depending on that, taking different business actions. Now we're going to the second demo. For the second part of the demo, we're going to show you our skills matching tool, which was built entirely using KNIME as well. So imagine that you're working in a HR firm and that you're trying to find the best candidates for a specific job. This tool can help you to find the top matching skills on a resume associated to a job description. And all this was again built using KNIME. So imagine that we want to check a Java developer job. So we can see that this resume of a person was ranked as the first one. So this means that this resume contains most of the skills that are required for this job. For example, on the right-hand side, we can see that this person is really good at Spring, JavaScript, testing, Java, React, computer science, and SQLs, and that those skills that this person has are matching with the job description of the position that we want to fill. But how all this was built using KNIME? So let's go to KNIME to discover that. For this part, we are going to have two types of data. The first one is going to be the job description files, and the second one are the resumes that we're going to use for matching the different skills. And as well, we're going to have a set of skills that are associated to technical words, like for example, testing, TensorFlow, which are skills that a person should have in this type of jobs. So the treatment that we're going to do for these job descriptions and resumes is going to be the same. We will need to do some text processing, like to remove punctuation and more things. But the most important part is the use of the Stanford NLP NE learner, because here we are going to able to use a tag and a tag value for the skills that we're going to try to find. If we apply this on the job description that we have, look. So this is a job description that we have. If we go to the search and select the NE tag that we were using before, okay, here we're going to have the skills that we consider relevant for the job and that are going to be used for matching the skills on the resume. Once we have all these terms tagged, we're going to keep only the ones that are useful, and we are going to create a document vector which will transform all these job descriptions into a set of columns, and we will have one when this term appears in the job description. Here we can see that this job description has Java, software, testing, Spring, and React. The treatment for the resume is going to be the same, so we're going to use this Stanford NLP tagger in order to extract the key terms from the resumes. And as well, we're going to create a bit vector in which we will have if this person has a skill in the resume. For example, here we can see that this person has used before Git, Python, NumPy, Pandas, Flask, and that has leadership skills as well. Once we have these two vectors, one with the resume skills and the other one with the skills of the person, what we're going to do is to apply a similarity search algorithm to see the distance between these two vectors. And the closer the distance, the most matching the skills are. So once we apply this, what we're going to do is to rank the different candidates. So we will have as a number one, the candidate that has most of the skills matching with the job we are trying to fill. And this is going to be the input that you see for this interactive view. So we will have the top N resumes ranked by similarity score, and this person is having most of the skills required for this job. And this is really interesting from a HR point of view, because this can help to the HR department to do this first selection of candidates on a faster manner. Now we're going to the wrap up. For this part, I hope that you understand the main difference between extractor and unstructured data, that you see the potential that an extractor data and also the value that can bring to a company. I hope that you learn how sentiment analysis and web script data can be applied together for the analysis of reviews or feedback from customers, and also that you can see how information from PDFs can be extracted and used to get some insights. and also can help to automate some processes. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this cool talk. And now I hand over to Gianluca.
Thank you very much, Renzo. That has been fantastic.